Hello, good morning. Let's just make a few adjustments, make sure I am live in the right place. How are we all today? A bit cooler here in the UK, which is a bit of a relief. I'm not going to lie, it was very, very hot. Okay, sorry, just excuse me, I'm checking. I am live in the right place. My screen has come out with a different view again. Don't know why it does this every time. There's a couple of people on watching. If you are joining me, please do say hello. It's lovely to know who is here. I've been sat here faffing around with my camera setup. I don't like having you too close, but I can't seem to get myself central. My head is always turned. It's really weird. Anyway, minor problems, minor details. I'm here, I'm live in the right place. And today I'm playing with some new products, which I'm super excited about. I'm not really sure about embracing Christmas yet. Don't know how you guys feel. Morning, Lucy-Ann. Morning, Ruth. How are you guys? Feels like I haven't seen some of you for such a long time. Yeah, so I'm not sure how you feel about Christmas in July. I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be honest. As a crafter, we have to start early. So it is kind of time, especially when August comes, to start embracing the fact that we need to make a bit of a start and start crafting with our Christmas projects, whether you're making gifts to give to people or whether you are just creating cards to send to friends and family, then now is the time to start. So I thought today I would share some Christmas projects with you, but also coming up in August, the stamps that I'm using, which is a new sneak peek, it's called the Merriest Moments. I've designed a non-Christmas class with it, which is, I think it's beautiful. Hopefully you will do it too. I might give you a little sneak peek, a quick like scam across the camera later. What else have I got coming up? Oh, I've got penguin classes coming in August. So I just need to sit down and get everything uploaded to my new events website. So I've got a little list of things to talk to you about. I've got catalogue launch coming up. I've got a paper share that I need to chat with you about today. Oh, lots and lots of things, but I think I need to get on with some stamping. Kate, you're looking after Darcy, 9 months old. Oh, bless you. She's having a nap. Yeah, of course, you might have to dash off. You're not sure how you feel about Christmas in July, Kate. I know, but we are at the very latter part of the month, so I feel like I'm kind of getting away with it. Yeah, inspiration is always good to get us going, so... Ruth, you're happy to see some Christmas things coming. Yeah, I want to take it slowly. Normally what I do is jump in, head first. I sprawl Christmas everywhere in August and September. By October, November, I'm kind of done with it. So bit by bit, we've got lots in the new mini catalogue that's coming. There's lots of non-Christmas things in there as well. So including those lovely sheep that are sat on the desk behind me. Hopefully I might get to play with those later. That's a celebration free item. So without further ado, let's turn you down and see what we're playing with today. So bear with the hand. Somebody's sat right by my feet again. Bless him. Get the light on. Get some zoom on. Wait for catch up. I have a lot of stamps mounted already. Right. Just move over, wait for catch up so that I can see I've got a good view, or you've got a good view of what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm excited to play with Christmas stuff, but as I've said, I want to keep it calm. I want to try and hold back a little bit and be a little bit reserved about it. So I had Evsy yesterday, Kate, as you know, because we were chatting. She is just such a little sweetheart. She's 15 months. What month are we now? Gosh, July, April, May, June. Yeah, 15 months. So she's quite busy. She loves to be on her feet. She loves playing with the kitchen, like the IKEA kitchen and all the wooden play food, which I hate to admit, I actually love a bit of playing with the kitchen and pretending we're in a cafe and things like that. We have so much fun. I love a bit of role play. Yeah, and she understands what I say. If I say, can you make Nana a cup of tea? She gets the cup and she makes me, you know, a cup of tea. At 15 months, she knows exactly what we're talking about. Okay, enough of life. Let's take this grid paper down and see what's in the basket. Okay, so you may have seen my colour combo of the day is Cherry Cobbler, which I think has to be my favourite Christmas red. Of course, we got Merry Merlot, which is slightly deeper, a bit more of a burgundy red, I would say. Soft Succulent, which is my fave green, and Evening Evergreen. So these are two of the new in colours. And then these colours came about by the papers you have seen me use for the whole of this month. And guys, this is all I've got left. I've got an order on the go and I've got another pack of this in the basket. So don't forget about the paper sale we've got going. That's all I've got left of that sheet. That's so sad. I've got some scraps. I have got some scrap bits, but yeah, so, and the other side, these will make stunning projects. And I've been playing with this for classes that are coming up in August as well. So the other thing, oh, morning, Lucianne. You've got a video call with Working Well. Oh, what's Working Well, Lucianne? Not heard of that. Is, oh, you'll let me know. Anyway, you don't have to let me know on here. You can message me if it's something that you don't want to say on here. So, yeah, just obviously, you know, you can come back. I record this. So, the Merriest Moments, I was just drawn to this as soon as I saw it. And what I love is that not only do we have this gorgeous die set, I feel I'm on a crook. I'm going to move my tape. Not only do we have this gorgeous die set, which cuts out, look at this shape, but as you may have seen in my basket, we've got an embossing folder that goes with it as well. Now, this is something new to me. There is a set in the annual catalogue that has, I don't think I'm going to be able to find it because I don't have it. I don't know what it's called. It has a hybrid embossing folder with it. I'll find it and I will put something in the comments. But basically, excuse me, you pop in this, not that one, this die here, you actually pop it inside the embossing folder and it clicks. Can you see it's not moving anywhere? It clicks into place. Then you pop in your, where's my, I've got a piece of card here. Then you pop in your piece of card and then you run that through your embossing folder and it cuts out and embosses at the same time. How cool is that? Love that idea. Don't think I'm actually doing that today, but just I might cut that later and show you just how pretty it is. But it's such a great idea. And at first I was a bit unsure about putting my die in, but it's how this is designed to work like that. It's not going to damage your embossing folder. So a really pretty, don't know if you get a better view of that. It's hard to tell in my light whether you can actually see. But a really pretty combination. So the dies and the embossing folder come together. Okay, they're not sold separately. They come together and that is the price there. It's £36. Excuse me, I've got that frog in my throat again, that Tuesday frog. So they come together, packaged together. You can't just buy the embossing folder. What else am I using? Another new embossing folder, which is the Time Worn type. Love this. It's in the autumn winter, not supposed to say that, July to December mini catalogue. But it's not necessarily Christmassy. I love the effect. I'm using that one, so you'll be seeing that. And of course, I couldn't not use this stamp set because it's my focus of the month. Morning, Ellie, my lovely. How are you? So I couldn't not use it. So I'm using a couple of images from this set because I am making 3 Christmas projects today. So let's pop those things away. I'm also using some of the fine art ribbon. This is in the annual catalogue. It's really pretty. It's got like a gold fleck in it. It's like a crumb cake base with gold flecking, really pretty. And of course the linen thread works beautifully with that. Let's move you out of the way. Got lots of stamps mounted ready. Let's get my wet wipe out. So how are we all? How are we all doing? How was our weekend? Because the weather has turned a bit, hasn't it? And I was pleasantly surprised actually at the weekend. I thought the weather was going to be worse than it was, but it wasn't too bad. We had a bit of rain, but nothing too major. Sadly, not enough to water the veg garden. Morning, Lisa. How are you doing? How are you? Nice to have you join us today. So, as my inks tell the story, this is the colour of cardstock I'm using on this one. So I've got some soft succulent. Oh, I'll just point out the other dies I'm using. My all-time favourite, stitched so sweetly, okay? And I've used one of this large die on a strip of cherry cobbler, and I've just cut myself a little border. So very, very handy dies. I'm also using some labels as well on this one. So let's make a start. So yeah, what did you all get up to at the weekend? We spent the whole of the day on Sunday in the garden, tidying up. Jason did a bit of hedge trimming safely. It was just, it's a hedge it's an arched hedge at the end of the house off the snug. So nothing nesting in that one. It was quite safe for him to do it. So that was a bit of a task. I'll be honest, that's his job. I kind of stay out of the way. He does ask me for advice on whether it's straight, and I'm not very good at doing that either. So I leave him to the hedges. I'm more of the weeder. I do all the mundane jobs, the weeding and the sweeping. But anyway, we got quite a few jobs done. I got a couple of areas tidied up, and feel a little bit better that, you know when sometimes you look outside and you just feel that everything's getting on top of you, you can't keep up. So I feel like Sunday we achieved a lot out in the garden, so that's good. Okay, let us start with our cards. So I've cut a piece of this, and I couldn't decide which side to use on here, but when I determined my base colour, I knew I had to use this side. So this paper is called Christmas Tidings of Christmas. Why has it gone out of my head? Tidings of Christmas. I'm just looking on the back of my packet. And this one is included in the 15% off sale. I have got another order hanging in. If anybody would like to add anything, please get in touch with me. So if you don't already have a demonstrator you shop with, you can. I would love for you to shop online with me, or shop direct if you're local. Please just get in touch. Okay, so I'm going to start with some stamping first. Let's pull in. All of my stamps are photopolymer. So let's bring in some grid paper and my little mats. And I'm going to start. Have I got that greeting out? I want to use this one. I love this. And just to let you know, the images on the cover here are only shown at 90%. So I've pulled a lot of the stamps out, but these are beautiful. Look at the splat. I love the splat. Using the splat on here. So I want the one, a joyful celebration. And I'm not, did I leave it in there? Am I going bonkers? Yeah, it's still in there. Oh dear, not a good start. Going crazy already. That block's a bit dirty, but let's mount that one up. Find a piece of scrap. So a bit of basic white. Let me just measure. Probably be able to go that way. For my greeting, I want to use my evening evergreen. So we'll move those out of the way. And I'm just going to ink this up. I love the greetings in this stamp set. They're quite large. If I show you again, you've got 3 that are quite large that can be almost like the focal point of your project or your card, and then just adding like a bit of holly and bellies. Told you it wasn't going to be a good day. Berries. And I have had my breakfast as well, so I can't blame it on being hungry. But I just love these 3 large greetings. But then that you've also got this one here. And they've got the word joy as well, which is great to just sort of add to any project. Pop it in there with another greeting as well. So I'm just inking this up in Evening Evergreen. Stamping it down. And then I want to cut it out with, so it's the one up from the largest, one down from the largest in the Stitch So Sweetly die set. I know a lot of you've got this die set. It's such a good one to have. So let's bring in some plates. I want to come in closer, but I think you know the whole scenario. It's always difficult when I first turn you down and zoom you in, because I've normally got something on my desk that requires me to be zoomed out a little. Let's pop my top plate on. So we'll do this one first. Just run that through. And then I've got a bit of card, basic white left. To stamp on. I may need a bit more though, looking at what I'm doing. Right, the next, let's open up these inks ready, because I am using all of these. These are dangerous colours for me. Cherry Cobbler, I seem to get it everywhere. All of the dark colours I get everywhere, and I have to constantly check that I've not got inky fingerprints anywhere. Hello Delia, how are you? Thank you for joining us this morning. Whereabouts are you from, Delia? Are you across the seas? So here in the UK, we had like a heat wave, which was quite wearing. We're not used to having heat like that. But now things have cooled down a little, and it's been drizzling here this morning. So it's a bit damp, bit grey, a little bit of blue sky up there, but nothing amazing happening out there. But the garden needs it. The grass is starting to go a little bit brown in areas. So right, the first ink stamp I'm going to ink, in the Merriest Moments set, we've got these lovely 2 poinsettia, and they're different sizes. So we've got a larger one and a smaller one, but they're also totally different designs. So you can see this one has got like these line drawings on the petals, and this one is designed differently. Got a nice cherry cobbler smudge there. Let's see, it gets everywhere. And these kind of coordinate because they've all got that sort of lined detail to them. But I'm going to use the smaller one. I'm going to ink it up in the cherry cobbler. I absolutely I love this stamp set. I know you're all laughing at me. You're chuckling at me, but it's amazing. Stampin' Up keep bringing us fabulous products. Right, I just realised I hadn't mounted that one either. So let's put you on there. Now I'm not sure I'm going to get all of these on here, so we'll bring in another bit of scrap. Dropped a bit on the floor. So the other thing I like is this like ferny image. Let me bring back in the stamp set again, because I cannot show you inside the catalogue. We've got two sizes of this, which I love, and this one it's got a slightly thicker leaf design on it, I guess. This is finer, but they work really well together. So I'm going to take the larger one and ink it in the evergreen. Beautiful, isn't it? It's just beautiful, and I love this. It reminds me of a figgy leaf. I don't know what it is about the shape of the leaves, but it reminds me of that. And I do have one of those in my bedroom. I've not had it that long, so I'm nervous about it. Me and plants, we do okay, but then sometimes, you know, I lose one. Maybe I don't feed my indoor plants that often. Maybe I need to feed them a bit more regularly. I think you're supposed to do it once a month, and I definitely don't feed my indoor plants once a month. I water them routinely. Pretty good at the watering. Has anyone else got any plants that are a bit dodgy in the house? Not very good at looking after. Most of mine, as I've said, I'm okay, but normally when we put the heating on, I have problems then with, I can't seem to keep ivy alive in our house. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether I'm underwatering, overwatering. So I'm just pulling out the corresponding dies, and I need that one. Look at all these dies in this set. This is beautiful. And then you've got this lovely inner rectangle frame, which works really, really well on other projects as well. So good set of dies. Yeah, so I've got a figgy leaf, fiddle leaf it's called, isn't it? I always want to call it a figgy plant, but it's fiddle leaf. I've got one in my bedroom, and we've got Velux windows in our bedroom. So what I tend to do is pull the fiddle leaf out to where the light comes in, because it's in a corner on sunny bright days, because apparently it likes some direct sunlight, and you've only got to water it when it's really dry, when the soil's dry on top, and I don't know whether I give it enough at that point, so it's a bit of a gamble. Right, now with this flower, oh, it's not a flower, it's a poinsettia, which I suppose is a Christmas flower, isn't it? You may be turning this die around and around and around forever, trying to line it up with this image. But what you need to do is pinpoint something in the die that sticks out to you. And what sticks out to me on this stamp is either this petal here that has a real curve on it. Let me bring the dies. So that when you look at your die, I can see that petal there has a real curve on it. So when I line it up, I can see that it's going to line straight away. So when you have flower dies like this, look at your stamped image and see something that jumps out to you, that also jumps out to you, that you can pinpoint on your die. And then it just helps you line it up much faster. What you can always do is put a dot, where's my stamp? Put a dot, so that's that leaf there. Put a dot on the back of that stamp with a permanent marker pen. I've got like a gold one, or and I just put a dot on there, and then put a dot on your die as well, and then you know straight away that that's that one petal that you are lining up. That's my little tip for the day. But we all do things our own way, don't we? But sometimes what is obvious to some people is not so obvious to others. So all the little tips. Kate, you've got orchids indoors. Yeah, I've got a couple. And I had a bit of a learning curve with those. Let me cut. Oh no, you don't hear me so well when I'm cutting, got my back to you. Yeah, the first couple that I had years ago, when all the flowers fell off, I threw them away. I didn't know they would come back to life. How sad is that? And then somebody told me that I needed to just cut back like the dead stem, keep watering, which isn't very often, is it, with an orchid, and wait for it to come back, and it did. So I have about 3 on the go now. 2 of them were gifted to me, and it's lovely when they come back. Right, let's put those dies back. I think that's all of the stamping of things that need to be cut. How lovely are they? Yes, I had a bit of a learning curve with the orchids. Especially sometimes they seem to be dormant for such a long time. And you're wondering, are they ever going to come back? I did have a bit of a moment with a cyclamen that I've got in the house. I honestly thought it had gone. When I first had it, I didn't realise that once you pulled off the dead flowers, it would come back. And then somebody told me, and I was like overjoyed that this plant wasn't dead because I hadn't had it that long. And a lovely dear friend had bought it for me when we moved in here. So that's nearly 4 years ago. We moved in here on August the 4th. So yeah, but just lately, I've had a few issues where, well, had one issue where the flowers all dropped off. Well, they died, so I pulled them off, and then they never came back, and it was just like this little hard bit in the middle of the plant pot, and I really thought it had it, but I continued to water it. Someone said, keep watering it, and it's just come back. A little leaf is growing out of it, so I was overjoyed with that. Okay, right, what I want to do next, so I've got a strip from the DSP and this lovely piece here. I want to attach these together. So let's bring in my Tombow. Sorry, I'm doing lots of talking this morning. Have a little drink. Try not to talk so much. I need to talk, guys. I can't not talk when I'm live. You just have to put me on mute if it gets too much. Okay, so I'm just layering. I love to have that skinny, let's just get a bit of scrap. I love to have that skinny edge of striped DSP. So let's just trim that off. Can actually feel cool air coming in the window, which is lovely. And then I want to have on top of that a scallopy border. So let's pop some Tombow on there and just lay that one on. Just so we've got a different effect happening. And then snip off the edges. Like that, and I can pop this down onto my base ready. Got a little bit of stamping to do on my base, but I can do that next. It's not going to interfere with this. So I'm just going to pop that down at the bottom, even border all the way around. Oh, moved it too much. Can hear the birds singing away out there. Don't know if you guys can. Seem to have had a bit of a problem with birds. Me and birds at the moment. I've nicknamed myself the bird whisperer because we've had birds in the house. We've had a blue tit in the house. We've had a robin in the house. Had a baby bird in the house. It came into the front hallway. Thankfully, the door was shut to the main house. Otherwise, it would have had the life of Riley. but I came into the house, the front door had blown closed, and I came into the house through the middle doors. And when I went in, I heard the bird, and I thought, oh gosh, there's another bird down at the other end, because I keep the doors open, obviously. But it was coming from the other end, from the top end of the house. So I wandered up and I listened, and I could hear this bird chirping in the hallway. So I opened the door, and on the mat was this little fluffy baby bird. I just didn't know what to do, because I know you're not supposed to touch them. But it was really big. When I say little, it was obviously a baby, because it couldn't fly properly. And I didn't really know what to do. So I had this big piece of cardboard, and I kind of like, I didn't touch it. I encouraged it to go out, and it hopped out. And obviously I had to keep Alfie in, so I'd shut all the other doors, and I kind of encouraged it across the driveway and onto the grass, hoping that it would go and find a bush or go and find its mum. And it kind of disappeared, so I'm hoping that it flew away. But it couldn't fly very far. It was kind of like running and then taking off a bit and then landing again. Poor little thing. But it pooped everywhere in my hallway. It made a right mess. Poor little thing. Yeah, so, and then we had this robin down in the snug at the weekend. And then yesterday, blow me down, I was over here doing some admin work while Evsie was having a little nap, because I bring the travel cot over here when I've got her in the day, because she does sometimes have a nap in the morning. And a swallow flew in through the door downstairs, came up, and then started flying around up here. It wasn't in here for long, thankfully. The blind down at this end was shut because the sun was coming in, and it went out of the Velux that was open at the other end. So, phew. But that pooped everywhere as well. So yeah, I'm having a bit of a chuckle to myself. I'm naming myself the Windrush Barn Bird Whisperer, because I don't know what it is with me and birds at the minute. They just keep coming in, and we've never had this before. Right, waffle stopped. I want some of this in a moment. What I want to use next is this one. Let's bring back in the stamps. So it's shown here. It's quite a good size for a splat. And you know this girl loves a splat for her crafting. And it's not necessarily snow. There are no kind of snowdrops on here. And I'm going to ink it up in soft succulent. I don't think I'm stamping it off. Don't remember if I did on my original. But I know this panel's going to be going over this side of my card. So I'm just going to randomly, I wonder if I should get a scrap. Let's just get a scrap and see how dark it comes out. I'm going to stamp off. I've decided straight away. So let's pull in this little bit. So I'm going to have this roughly here, and I just want to add a little bit of splattage on the background. Might do a little bit down here as well, to be careful not to get ink, because you can see all that excess ink on there where I've pressed way too hard into my ink pad. Just checking comments. So let's move you back out of the way so we can start assembling now. I'm going to pop a couple of dimensionals behind this layer, because I want this one to pop out. Managed to get ink on my thumb, which thankfully is on the back of here, so it won't hurt. So I'm going to pop that one down first, but what I thought I would do is add a bit of this lovely ribbon behind it. Just grabbing my large scissors, because these ones are super sharp. And I'm just going to make a simple loop to go behind. I think that's probably enough. Let's just chop the end off of there. And I'm literally going to just fold it like that. I'm going to pop it down. And let's just hold it there a minute with a block. just to make sure it doesn't move before I get it, let's pick up, oh, I've got a long, too much hanging on there. I'm getting to the end of this roll. I'm just going to pop a glue dot behind there just to secure that in place. And then on the crossover, put another bit there, just so that it doesn't move. Because there's nothing going to be holding it other than this panel, and none of my dimensionals are going to be touching it. So I need to hold it down there. You could also pop a run of like tear and tape over the top, or double-sided tape if that's what you use. I've got something else I want to go under here, but I better put that first. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Right, so I want some linen thread. Messages are popping up. You've got to go, Lucianne. Okay, my lovely. Hope your call goes well. So I'm just going to run this through my forefinger and nail just to straighten it out a little, and it does work. Need my glue dots again. And I want to create a loop. So I'm going to hold it, make a loop and pinch it, then bring in my third, so I'm wrapped it around 2 fingers, then bring in my third finger, wrap it around my third finger and pinch there again and let go and snip that off. So I've got this little loop, and then literally just pop it onto a glue dot like that and pinch it, and it will just grab all of those pieces so that you end up with that. And then I want to pop that just there so that it's going to be popping out of behind my label, and I'm just going to add another glue dot and press that down just to make sure that it's stuck. And then this label can go over the top. I want to just cut off that, if I can get hold of it, that long thread that's hanging out. Move those scissors back out of the way. So we're just going to pop that down there like that. Make it straight. So just popped that on like that. And then all we're going to do is add in these die cut pieces, and I've already cut ahead of time. Don't need quite that many. From the Christmas trimmings, the one that I've been using for the whole month, this die here cuts beautiful little flower centres or cardstock dots that you can use if you don't have any like embellishments or things handy. Just zooming in a teeny bit. That was brave of me, wasn't it? Right, what I'm going to do is give this, normally use, give it a bit of lift, and I'm going to pop it over this side of my greeting. And I'm just going to pop that one down flat with some Tombow. I don't think it needs any height to it. I wanted to overlap onto that tag slightly. And we'll give these a bit of a curl. These are stunning, stunning foliage images. I will pop just under here a dimensional in the middle because I want it to just pop up a little bit and kind of remain kind of arched. And then we'll pop that one under there, and we'll turn this one up. So this I think this is a pretty simple card. I might just have to trim a bit off of the bottom of here. If I'd have put a dimensional under here, it might have slid under a bit further. So a bit of Tombow on the back. Tuck it behind like that. And then to finish, I will just pop in the centre. You could, of course, use embellishments if you've got them. But I just love this idea of bringing in a little bit of gold. Let's turn that one over. Like that. And there we go, card is done. So pretty simple, I think. Simple stamping, just stamping images from the set and then cutting them out. But quite effective. I think the ribbon and the twine, you know, gives it a bit of texture. So I do really like that one. So that's the first one. There's my original. Pretty much the same going on there. Might have raised that one on a dimensional. So let's put those to one side and bring in my next kit. So on the next card, and I know some of you, so I've put up on my events website details for my 6-card class, which is coming in August. And the live is, I think it's the 12th, but I'm also doing an in-person, but only offering 5 spaces. So, and for the Thursday morning, 4 spaces have gone already. So I've only got 1 space left on the Thursday morning, but a couple of spaces in the evening. So please do get in touch. But I'm offering this stamp set that you could include with the kits as well, so that you've got your own. And a couple of you have already gone for that, even though you've not really seen it in use. Well, not by me. I know lots of other demonstrators have been doing stuff with it. Okay, so bringing in a bit more cherry cobbler this time. Done a bit of die cutting ahead of time, so a nice label from the Stitch So Sweetly. And then this star is, of course, if you will remember, from the Christmas trimmings. And it's basically this large star with this one inside, which cuts this and this like that. But I've just taken that centerpiece out, and obviously I can use this one on another project. So I love that about those sets, that set. And also in this set, of course, we've got some really lovely holly dies as well. Oh, I knocked it. And we lost one. Stay there. Okay, so basic white base. And I'm going to be using the Tidings and Trimmings set on this one. Seems a bit weird to be crafting with Christmas. Thanks, Delia. You like the colour combination? Yeah, it's a favourite of mine, really. I love cherry cobbler for Christmas. I have created some... I've done loads of projects with this stamp set already, and I have created some using Real Red. But because this DSP from the Christmas, Tidings of Christmas, has cherry cobbler in it, I decided that I needed to use the cherry cobbler with that. Right, what I'm going to do first is bring in that lovely new embossing folder, which I am not seeing. I showed you it earlier. There it is, hiding right at the front of my basket. So this is the Time Worn type, and I'm just going to pop it in. And then for this layer, we just need our base plate number 1, the hinge going in first, and then the plate number 4 on the top, because it's a lovely 3D embossing folder. through nice and easily. Let's pop that one back. Hoping you can see the texture. It's got like, hard to explain. There's like script on there that's not really legible. I can see the word harvest there, but it's beautiful, and it's kind of an everyday, all-round embossing folder. I love it, absolutely love it. So what I wanted to do on this layer is add some ribbon before I pop it down onto any other layers. So I'm going to cut a piece slightly longer than the width of my card and have it just up from the bottom, and I'm just going to pop down a glue dot. Oh, she says it's obviously still warm in here, even though it's cooled down. It's still almost 23 degrees here in the studio, and my glue dots are still a bit tacky. And then we'll just wrap that around and stick it. This ribbon has like a lovely vintagey feel to it. It's beautiful. Stunning. Not just Christmassy, definitely. Right, let's start with that straight. And then what I'm going to do is pop that straight down onto this soft succulent layer. We've just got a very small gap around. So you'll be seeing a lot of this stamp set. As I said, I've got a couple of classes designed already. We are using this stamp set, the Merriest Moments. We're using it for my 6-card class. I've designed a class in the post, which is 3 cards and a 3D project. I've designed another class in the post, which is using the stamps for non-Christmas projects. Something quite pretty, actually. I was quite pleased with how it came out. And there will be much, much more to come with it as well. Right, because I've put these together now, I'm going to pop them straight down onto my base. And remember, I start with a base that measures 8 1/4 by 5 3/4 inches. Sorry if you work in centimetres. I've always worked in inches. I think that makes me very old school, doesn't it? Feeling a bit old at the moment, guys. Feeling a bit old. Okay. Before we go any further, let's do some stamping. So let's bring in my mat. And I wanted to pull from the tie-ins and trimmings, because obviously I've used this set for the whole month, but not on anything Christmassy. So I wanted to use this lovely Christmas stocking here. So I've mounted it up ready. Let's find a scrap, that one will work perfectly. And I'm going to take the soft succulent ink, which I've re-inked, so it's quite intense. And then I also want, don't know if I've pulled out the right size, just bear with me. I think I have. I'm looking at holly leaves. I think I need to bring out this larger one. And I'm going to switch it for the smaller one. I love these holly leaves. I love just the lined image on them. Now, I don't want to waste paper, but I need to know that I'm going to be able to cut these out without them. Look how stunning that is. Did have a bit of movement at the bottom. I can get both of those out. They're beautiful. They're so crisp. So let's just snip those up. The other thing I need you can see I've been using this. It's well stained and I haven't even wiped around my block. I did stamp some of these this morning. So with the cherry cobbler, let's just take another. Might have a little scrap in my bin from earlier. And oh, that moved then, just as well I had enough space for two. Snip off. That one's no good because it's smudged. So these are lovely as well. Such crisp images. Zana, you're a little late. Don't worry, my lovely. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget you can always catch up what you've missed on the replay. We've made one card, so it's lovely to have you here, late or not. So we are playing, Zana, with the Merriest Moments, which is an upcoming stamp set from the new mini catalogue that's coming on 3rd of August. I'm also using a couple of stamps, just this one and a greeting, from the Tidings and Trimmings as well. And we are using this lovely set of dies called the Merriest Frames, which is on a bundle with the Merriest Moments as well. I am just going to pull in from the Christmas trimmings the stocking and cut that one out at the same time. Didn't even get those dies out I needed, did I? There's so many dies in here. So this is the little one for the holly berries. And then I need the large holly leaf. You usually end up watching catch up, Zana. Yeah, I'm quite good at catching up with people as well, because obviously there's always something going on. You do get into a habit of knowing when people are going live though, because most of us are kind of quite routine. I do sometimes dip in on a Saturday if family isn't taking up, not taking up time, but if we're not doing family things, or obviously if I'm away. But also that depends on my workload, whether I've caught up with everything, because Saturday mornings I'm usually designing for today and getting other stuff done, other classes designed. Right, let's just stick those down, run them through my machine. Got a nice clean plate for the top. Don't move. Didn't give you permission to move. That cracking noise you hear is quite normal. It is quite normal. Save that bit of washi. So we've got a little love that one. You could colour in those leaves in there as well. That would look really pretty. And then we just need to do another, I think that bit of washi has had it. Look how beautiful that is. Let's pull that off because half of it has gone. And use this bit, just cut this other one. And you can determine how this lines up because there is a much pointier end at the bottom. So just line that in. Tape it down so it doesn't go anywhere. I'm going to turn that. I can feel it bowing a bit. So you must do that with your plates. You must turn them regularly. Because they do start to bow. So when you see a slight curve, just turn them over and start using them the other way. Okay, let's put these dies back so they are safe and sound. I just need to stamp a greeting. So I thought, as nice as the greetings are in this one, I didn't want to neglect the Tidings and Trimmings. And there will be more coming with this that is Christmassy, of course. So I wanted to use this little one here because it just fitted in nicely in the gap that I wanted it. Now, I don't think I've cut myself. How big is that? 5/8. Let me just cut myself a scrap. Roughly the size that I need. I'm not sure if I've got a piece in my trim, in my scrap box. That's roughly about the width that I want. And I've mounted that one up. So it's wishing you a joyful Christmas and Happy New Year. Now, those of you that have been watching my lives will see that in my previous attempts at using this stamp set for non-Christmassy projects, I actually used lots of these greetings to create general greetings, like birthday greetings, by chopping into them and using individual parts. Like I think I did wishing you a wonderful time and things like that. So this is quite a good one for chopping up, because you've got you could use just the Happy New Year. You could use just Joyful Christmas. I'm going to ink this in Evergreen. Hello, Belle. How are you feeling today? Hoping to catch you later on your live. I had Evsy yesterday, so I wasn't able to look out for you. And then I ended up taking her home and didn't get back home until about 6:45, something like that, 7 o'clock maybe, 7 o'clock. And by the time I cooked dinner, then we came back over here. Well, I did. Jason was working on disastrous events with crashing his car at the weekend. He's safe though, that's the main thing. So he was busy downstairs. So of course I came over here and got a few things ready for this morning. Chasing a piece of cardstock around. And then I didn't actually get a chance to look to see your live. And then I saw that you weren't live anyway. So hopefully catch you later. So I've just done my little greeting on a strip of cardstock. So let us start laying down. So another piece of the same DSP that I used. Zana, you're at the hairdressers. Oh, how lovely. I think I'm missing some comments. Don't think all of my comments are coming through. Let's have another drink while I'm stopping. Belle, how are you feeling about Christmas in July? I know it's not for everyone, but I'm afraid as demonstrators we have to start sharing it. And as I said earlier, the July to December mini catalogue, it's not just full of Christmas things. You've got some lovely autumnal things in there and some really fun, cutesy things too. Right, before I pop this layer down, I've cut another skinny strip of this DSP. You know I love a stripe. And I'm going to pop that one just on here. I'm going to run, hope you're in shot. Oh, hi Tessa. You've missed a lot, but you'll catch up. Oh, it's you at the hairdressers. Okay, I saw a reply, but it didn't come through. What you'd originally said didn't come through. It just said that you'd replied. Zana, you've not been to the hairdressers for 2 years. I don't blame you. I'm actually going tomorrow because I've got a few roots coming through. I don't know how I used to manage, because I used to have a lot more blonde put in my hair going back. And now I feel I'm too old to have too much blonde. But I feel like this time my roots have come through so much faster. I think because I had more blonde put in this time. So I think that's why it's obvious. Well, that's obvious. It's come through a lot quicker, and I probably had thicker like highlights as well. So yeah, it's got to be done. But it's not too bad. But it's always nice to get your hair done, isn't it? Bell, yeah, it was on the start. So he qualified. He had a really good qualifying session. I think he was something like 1,000th of a second off of pole position. So he was really buzzing, and then went out for his first race, and literally on the start straight, he was just behind pole, and then someone came up behind him, ran into him, into his back right wheel, I think, which then span him. He then went off like in that direction and hit the person in pole position, and then he went right into a concrete wall on the other side of the start straight, which wasn't good. He thinks it was probably between 80 and 90 miles an hour. Didn't even get to the first corner. Thankfully, he's okay. He did have a bit of a bad back, but he's not sure from that's all the manual stuff he's been doing at work. But he's done a lot of damage to his car. Thousands of pounds worth of damage. Honestly, I feel like he's banging his head against a brick wall. The other car is in pieces downstairs because he's blown the engine up twice at the last 2 meetings, which I shouldn't laugh because it's not funny, but it's so disheartening for him because he's such a winner and he can do it, but he keeps getting let down all the time by problems. So, Belle, your pre-order has arrived. Yay! You're getting ready to get your Christmas on. I'm glad you are. That's good. It's nice to have new products to play with. Definitely is. And on that note, if anybody is thinking about maybe getting some Christmas products early, join my team, get the starter kit. It's the best way, honestly. It's the best way. So we do have an offer coming up with Celebration next month when you join, so keep an eye out for that. So I've just popped down that layer. Zana, you don't need roots. Done. You've got fine hair. Oh, you're lucky then. Kate, you're growing old disgracefully. Yours all natural colour. You look beautiful, my lovely. Your hair is fine. I am going to say I've got a few greys I've noticed coming through in the last few months, like at the front of my hairline. And the odd one in my eyebrow. That's weird, isn't it? Grey hairs in your eyebrows. And I never know whether to pull them out or leave them there. TMI. Tessa, you've not had your hair cut for a couple of years. You've gone from very short hair to very long. You're having a balayage. Oh, lovely. That sounds wonderful. Lucky you. My hair doesn't grow much. I've always been really rubbish at having it cut. I'm just going to pop this star down onto here. I've always been rubbish at having it cut because I don't want to lose the length, but then it's a catch-22. I don't have it cut. The ends break off and it doesn't grow anyway, so a bit silly really. So I do now have a little trim. And I've got a local lady that does my hair. I was having a family member do it, but then I found this local lady. She's literally just down the road. She has her own little salon and she uses eco products. So it just works really well for me because she's so close. Let's bring in Belle. Yeah, expensive. I think the problem is because his car's an older car, like he's damaged all the nose cone and things like that. It's not run-of-the-mill things that you can buy. They have to be made by hand, and locating somebody to make such parts is very difficult, and they are very few and far between, which is why then so blooming expensive. He's always had expensive hobbies. I mean, motocross, that's been a massive part of our life since Jack was 6. That's always been as being expensive as well, so kind of used to it. The money goes on the sports and not on anything else. But he loves his car racing. That's his kind of, his time away from, you know, work and stuff like that. The pressures of work. He knows that when he goes off racing, that's just his time to focus on what he enjoys doing. So, well, I've just curled my holly leaves, glancing at the time. And I'm going to pop them up on this top corner of my stocking. And then I'm just going to lay down a mini dimensional there on the corner. And pop in my berries. Like that. And then to finish, I can add in my greeting. So yeah, he's got a stressful 2 or 3 weeks till his next race. Waiting to see if the engine will be rebuilt in time on the one car. And whether he can locate parts for the other. Life's dramas. Oh, that one is on 2 layers. I'm going to have to pop another one under there. Let's just pull the cover off of one. Pick it up. Don't stick there. Basically, I just want to double layer under that bit. Can you see I've just popped 2 under there because I forgot it was hanging over the edge, and we're already a layer up from here. So I've got 1 dimensional behind there, and then I need another one to take it up to that height. You know me and my dimensionals. Nothing is ever cheap to post in my world. Morning, Lynn. How are you doing, sweetheart? How are you doing? Kate, baby's waking. Okay, I will catch up with you later, Kate. Yeah, come back for the replay. I'll try and get this uploaded to YouTube later as well, and try and get that emailed out if I can to everyone on my customer base. But I've got a lot of things I need to get done today. So there's the next card done. So quite Christmassy, Christmas red. Yeah, Belle, he does work very hard, and that is his time. I agree. Because we kind of feel like he's banging his head against a brick wall at the moment. But I said to him, if you don't do your racing, you know, what are you going to do? You need to do something. So he does like cycling. Does enjoy a bit of cycling. But of course nowadays, he's got a really good bike. But nowadays they have all these cycling enthusiasts. They have these e-bikes, don't they? Hello, Kim. How are you? Thank you for joining us this morning. We're stamping with the Merriest Moments, so we're embracing a bit of Christmas today, which is quite brave, but we need to make a start. So I'm just on my 3rd card. I'll show you quickly the last 2. Yeah, so he does enjoy a bit of cycling. But I think if he goes down that route, he's going to end up getting one of these e-bikes, which they're really expensive. Really expensive. Not as expensive as the racing car. So that's the first 2 cards. I've got one more to share with you. So obviously same colour scheme because I'm using the same pattern paper pack. Done a bit of die cutting ready, but I want to show you something as well. So let's fold our base. So 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, just folded down the middle. You love them. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Ruth. And thank you, Zana. I'm glad you like them. I am loving playing with this stamp set. Absolutely loving. Okay, first layer here, I have cut this so it's an 1/8 smaller than the front of my cardstock. Now, the embossing folder, so this is the hybrid one. I'm going to pop this on. Now, I don't want it to fill. I could have made it the same size as the front of my card, but I wanted you to be able to see some of the base colour underneath. So I'm going to lay this in. And what I'm looking for, and I'm hoping you can see this, is that I get all of the embossing in my layer. And I don't want to chop any. So if I move it this way, can you see I'm chopping off some of that embossed part? So I want it to be as central as possible. But the other thing I found with playing with this, we have a frame in the middle. I want that to be straight as well. So I'm also at the same time looking at this line and lining my cardstock parallel to that line. So I'm looking at that line and I'm looking around and making sure that everything, I can come down a bit actually, that everything is within my cardstock boundaries. I hope that makes sense. I think we are there. And I will show you in a minute how this cuts out with the die as well. I will show you. I'm just going to run that through my machine, switch my layers around, and hope that I didn't move it. Put my layers back so that they're ready for cutting. How beautiful. See, it does look a bit crooky to me, but how beautiful is that? I hope you can see the detail on this. It puts the snowflakes in the background. This raised center panel is amazing. Just show you the reverse so you can see how much it's kind of pushed through. Absolutely fabulous. Stampin' Up, you've nailed it again. This hybrid embossing system is just, it's lovely, it's different. Obviously I didn't do the hybrid part there because I didn't put the die in, but let me do that and show you. I've got a scrap here. So it's this die that we use. So we open it up with the Stampin' Up facing us, and then we line in this die, and it slots in against the edge of the cut. And then we're going to pop in, don't know if my card is big enough to cut it without losing any. Going to pop that in, and I'll just run that through my machine so you can see. So you can see the hybrid part of it. Look at that. I have noticed I need to run it through twice actually, thinking about it. It's just a little bit up there that just catches in a teeny weeny bit. But I'm just going to snip that for now. You're left with that. I don't know whether you could do anything with that. Hi Stephanie, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, if I just needed to run that through again, but it literally just catches just there on that top bit. But look at that, on a card base. Stunning. Isn't it clever? Absolutely love it. And just think of the possibilities you could do with this. You could ink the inside of your embossing folder. You could use your blending brushes on this. You can use the new chalks that we have. Oh, endless things you can do with it. But I just wanted to show you how it cuts out. Right, let's move on. Let's do stamping first. Bring back in my mat. And in fact, I've done a few die cuts ready because, you know, Blue Peter style is the best way when you're watching. And you've already seen me do some of that die cutting. I might have to do a couple of bits. But what I wanted to do was use one of my dies from my Stitch So Sweetly. I think it's this one. Let me check. Yeah. So this one here, the third one down. I want to create a smaller, let's chop this bit off. In fact, are you big enough? No, I need a bit of extra to hold on to. I'm just going to snip a bit off of here. And what I want to do is place it in my cutting machine. I want to make it smaller. So I don't want it to be as rectangular as it is. So I'm just going to run that through and cut it once. I think this might be called selective die cutting. I don't know, I'm not sure. So I've just cut part of a label like that. And then what I'm going to do is turn it the other way and recut. What you can do, you can turn it over and you can actually line it up. And if you press firmly, you can you see how it's not moving? I've lined up those scallops, and also these little dash parts, they push back into these that are already there. And then what I would do is run that through my machine, but only put my top plate. Let me show you. So when I put it on, I'm going to pop it in, and I can feel that that's kind of in the groove, so to speak. I would tape it down and then run it through my machine, but only with my top plate on the bottom part of this die, because if I cut up here as well, it will leave marks at the top. So I would run it through just so that my plate is on that bottom part that I want it to cut. And then when it comes out, you're left with a smaller die cut like that. You do get the extra stitch there, but it's not really noticeable on your project. So the greeting I wanted to use is this one here. Look how pink it's gone already. That's the, it's not just the cherry cobbler that makes it go pink, it's the other colours, the pigments in the inks that encourage the staining. So sometimes if you use a blue ink on a new stamp, it will still stain it red, not blue. That's just how it works. So with the Evening Evergreen, I'm going to ink up. I love, love, love this greeting. It's so much fun. I'm going to ink this up. Now you could have stamped before you cut. I'm bringing it down so that I can see. I'll move it back up when I've stamped it, because I don't want to get this wrong. Just stamp it down, hoping that it's straight because it's a job to see. That's not bad. And then I'm just going to get my chamois. Been using my chamois again. Look at the state of it. Dab that out to clean it a bit. And then I'm going to pull in my cherry cobbler, another scrap, and stamp the whole thing again. Isn't it beautiful? I just love it. As I was saying, these larger greetings can be a real focal point on your cards, and then you can just add a few, you know, bits around them. So what else do I need to do? Let's see what other pieces I've got before I think I'm finished with stamping. So I've got a couple of poinsettia that I've done. Got a bit of foliage, some holly and berries. I need to do one more. I need to do one of these. So let's just do that one in the Evening Evergreen. Snip around there. Bring in the die. Just tape this one down and then I'll run it through quickly. Line it up as best I can. Run it through. don't know why my tummy's gurgling. I did feed it. Right, look at all these lovely pieces. Let's start sticking. Move inks out of the way. So as I said, you could do all sorts with this. You could take a Daubin, add a bit of colour. I've not had that much time to do anything other than the basic of cutting it out. Not had time to play with anything in that area of enhancing this layer, but there will be some stuff coming. And there's loads of well, there's not loads of inspiration at the moment because people are only just starting to create with new products. It does look a bit crooked to me. So another piece of the DSP. I love this pattern. Very Christmassy on that side, but I didn't want it to be too busy. So I'm just going to pop that down inside that layer. Like that. Then my little greeting is going to go down here. I think on my original it turned out a bit shorter, the one that I did, but this is totally fine. Let's pop some dimensionals. I'll make it just pop out a bit from the white background. And I'm going to pop it down in this corner. Next, I was thinking then if I'd done that a bit low, let's add in some holly. Sometimes the brain, thought I had ink on me then, but that was from previous. Sometimes the brain just stops. It has to digest for a moment. Let's pop these under here. This is where I'm thinking I could have maybe gone up a little bit higher with this panel, but it'll still work. So we'll just stick those down as we did before. Pop a little mini dimensional right on that corner, and then I can lay down my berries just hanging over there like that. And let's add in some poinsettia, and of course you can layer these up. Twist them and layer them up. They look so, so pretty. Where's my lid gone? There it is. I know some of you may already have a previous poinsettia, but this set is worth it for all the extra foliage and the greetings that comes into it. So don't dismiss it. You can never have too many beautiful greetings. Just bring those down a bit. And twist. And then I'm just going to pop these in behind. Might have to trim. In fact, if I pull that one off and stick that where that one was, oops, and then stick this one down on top. That will work just fine. And then we'll wedge that one in behind. Let's just curl it a little bit. We are nearly there, guys. Like that. And then this little one, I think I'm going to pull you out and bring you in a bit. Make some room for some foliage. Just curl this one down a little. and just add a dimensional, just so it's slightly raised, and where I've curled it, it will give that kind of bowed look to it. May have to trim a bit off of this one. In fact, it will just wedge under there. We'll leave it there like that. And then to finish, some centres. Oh, I think I picked up exactly the right amount that I needed. So again, these are from the, what's they called? Christmas Trimmings die set. Wanted to say tidings and trimmings, but that's the actual stamp set. Such a handy little die, this one. Lay those down in the centres. I'll just move them over a little bit. And then to finish, I'm going to pull back in this that I stamped, because I double stamped this one. Take my large scissors. Oh, I chopped to try and remove it out. I don't need that bit for now anyway. I opened and closed my scissors so it would let go, and then chopped into it. Vicky, you need this set but need to be out of lockdown to run classes. Yeah, I know, it's difficult, isn't it? How long are they saying that you're going to be in lockdown? Thank you, Lynn. You're so sweet. It's nice to have some cheerleaders. Just going to pop more dimensionals. You could, of course, keep this part flat, but this just kind of makes it pop a little and brings in the cherry cobbler. They're saying it's going to be extended. Oh no, that kept happening to us, Vicky. Especially in the very start. They said it was going to be like 3 weeks, and then it ended up being like 6 months, however long it was. But you know, we'll get through it. You're going to know more tomorrow. That's good to hear. Let's hope it's positive news. Right, let's just pull in the others. So final finished one. So lots of detail, quite fancy, but nothing difficult. Nothing difficult about this. A bit of tricky die cutting with the label, but that was not necessary. But this is just stamping and die cutting. So there's the 3. While I see if they... I'm so excited about the classes I've designed for this as well, because this set is beautiful. But I do need to play with those sheep and the penguins. Done a bit of playing with the penguins, but I haven't inked up the sheep yet. So I'm just making a bit of room, moving things out of the way. So yeah, I was super pleased with how these came out. Love the colours. As you know, they're inspired by the DSP, which is on sale at the moment. So it's down to £9.14. So 15% off all 9 of these. I've got a favourites share going of 4 of my favourites. So the Bloom Where You're Planted, the Hand Penned, Tidings of Christmas, and You're a Peach. My piece of paper has disappeared, but let me see if I can find it. That's not very handy, but I've put all the info. I think you end up with getting 48 sheets of 6x6 in these 4 packs. It's about £10, maybe £11 posted. So £10 if you want to collect, or £9.50 if you want to collect. I've put it up on my VIP group. I don't remember if I put it up on my general page here, but there'll be 4 people per share, because 4 people per share, or 8? 4, I think. My brain has gone. I need a coffee. It's that time, isn't it? I need a bit more coffee. My card base measurement, Delia, is 8 1/4 by 5 3/4. So from an A4 sheet of cardstock, so this is European size, our cardstock measures 8 1/4 by 11 3/4 and a bit. So I literally put it in my trimmer at portrait and I cut it at 5 3/4. And then my layers go down in 8 1/4 depending on what size. So yeah, so back to the paper share. I've got my own personal little paper share going. So if anybody wants to take a spot on that, please get in touch. I've got mini catalogue launch party coming on the 5th, I believe. I'm doing an in-person, so you can come here, pick up your catalogues. Is it the same size for you in Australia, New Zealand? That's great. That's brilliant. Yeah, so you can come and pick up your catalogues, make a couple of cards with me, or you can have the post option where I post them out to you, and I will do a little Facebook Live and create the cards with you. So I've got a new blog post up where these are what I did last week. So using the Christmas stamp set, the tidings and trimmings, so and the Give It a Whirl dies. So these are what I did last week. So I've uploaded that and I've done a blog post on that if you want to head over and have a look. These are what I want to play with next. Excited. It's cute. Really, really cute. So this is a free celebration item. Move these out of the way for the mo. Grab the dies. Amazingly, the stamp set is available free with a £45 order, and the dies are available free with a £45 order, which is amazing. So thank you Stampin' Up for doing that. Usually with a bundle of products like this, you have to spend like £90 in one go, but they've spread them out for you. So I think that's such a great idea. Do you want a sneak peek? Give you a sneak peek. It's going to be a really quick flash because I'm not giving too much away. Yeah, I'm excited for another celebration as well. So this is a class in the post. It's using the Merriest Moments, and it's going to be non-Christmassy. So that is all you're getting. That was mean, wasn't it? That was mean. But I love it. Absolutely love it. And then, of course, we've got coming up, I just need to get these uploaded, is this little class here for August. So using the Give It a Whirl dies and the Penguin Party, is it called? Penguin Place. Hasn't sunk into my brain. Anyway, enough shares, enough sneak peeks. Let me look at my little list of what I wanted to talk about. I think that's it. So head over to my website. Probably the easiest way to get there is go to kerrytims.co.uk, and then up at the top click on the tab that says classes and events, and that will take you to my events website so you can see what classes I've got coming up. So yeah, those penguins are cute, aren't they, Delia? Really, really cute. So lots of, what I love about them as well is that they're not just for Christmas. You know, you can use them for general birthday, which is what my August class will be. There will be Christmas coming with them. Oh, the other thing I wanted to show you, going back to these that I did last week. Do you remember my dies hadn't arrived? Not my dies, my brads. Just wanted to show you them because they've arrived now. So if you're thinking about the Give It a Whirl set, these are the brads that you can use. The birds are so noisy, and I don't know if you can see down in here. See if I can get one out. Let's tip. Tipping is probably best. You've got these mini ones as well, which will work lovely for the centres of the Give It a Whirl die. So, and look how many are in there. So beautiful, and they're not just for creating centres. You can use them as embellishments as well. So they're called the round and square brads. They're about £6, I think, maybe £6.50. There's 200 in there, so they're going to last you forever. So that's what you could use rather than hiding over the centre part. You could use those. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I really need a coffee now. And thank you so much for joining me today. It's lovely to have your company. As I always say, it's almost like you're here with me because I'm getting to chat with you. And what could be better than chatting with people from across the seas as well? So take care, everybody. I hope that your lockdown news is better, is more positive. Things are changing here in the UK, but we're still wearing masks because we're being advised to, although it's not necessary to. But yeah, so just take care, everybody, when you're out and about. Stay safe. Keep yourselves busy with your stamping and keep sharing. And I will be back with you all very, very soon. So bye for now.